Ravana. I wrote a cab in 82 December with a GMAT balance guide as the only means of preparation. So I had one GMAT balance guide which I got off a footpath on Abbots in Hyderabad. One friend had another GMAT guide. We quickly checked that we hadn't bought the same one so we could share it with each other. When one of my friends said, how many speak Telugu here? One of my friends said, Nana, reader's digest lo word power vastundi akkadi nunchi practice chestam. So it pays to increase your word power on reader's digest. If anyone remembers reader's digest. So we would call up each other and say, what is the meaning of autocratic? What is the meaning of apocalypse? Because that would be those words in reader's digest. That's just how we prepared. But I met very good people on the way. I was very fortunate. I had no business coming here. I was just very lucky. I was doing a little bit of commentary, but I was earning some between sort of $75 to $100 a day because I was on Doordarshan All India Radio. When you pass out of an engineering college in Hyderabad, in those days, nobody got jobs out of engineering college. Nobody did. So everyone applied to public sector jobs. If you got them, you're great. Never ever been in the public sector, never ever been in government jobs. All our parents came from there. Because our parents came from there and spent on our education, we could come here and our children could go somewhere else. Life is a series of connecting trains. So never make fun of government jobs. My batch, everybody came from government jobs or public sector jobs, virtually. So you don't get jobs. You either apply to public sector jobs or you try and go abroad, but you can't afford it. So you hope that you get aid. But the cost of applying abroad is already so much. I would actually go on a scooter from my house in Tarnaka, go all near Tarnaka, all the way to the main GPO, put the stamps on for the pre-apps for universities abroad, but not put it in the box. Because somebody said, वो box के अंदर डाले नहीं, हल्लू से पीछे से निकाल के stamps निकाल देते, बाजू में फेंक देते. So go and get them stamped in front of you so that you don't have to pay for the stamps again. Or as I did, I wrote the postgrad exam for a postgrad in engineering. Luckily, I got through GATE, as it was called then. Luckily, I got through that. So otherwise, I would have probably gone and done an MTech in chemical engineering somewhere. And deep, far, far away in a fantasy world, was getting into IIM. Sometimes it happens. But this place, I knew this place was going to be special. It's an old story about how I never got my interview call letter. Everyone knows, I don't want to keep repeating that, but I didn't get my interview call letter. And I went to I'll tell it to you very quickly. I got an IIM Bangalore interview letter. And in those days, very few people got these, right? So if you got an IIM Bangalore interview letter, you already wow all the people around it, people are talking about you. And everyone who got IIM Bangalore got IIM Calcutta. The call letter, interview letters. I didn't. And I'm sitting on the dinner table and saying, such high correlation in Bangalore, Calcutta. I'm the only guy I know who's got a Bangalore interview letter but not got a Calcutta interview letter. My father, being the eternal optimist and academic, said, maybe the postman didn't deliver the letter. I said, yeah, maybe the postman did deliver the letter. He said, okay, let's see what we can do. Hyderabad is a beautiful village. Everyone is 2 degrees of separation away from you. It used to be. This Hyderabad, I don't know. So he called up. Interviews are in administrative staff college. If you're the earliest teacher of French in Hyderabad, then everyone knows you. Somebody has always passed through your class. He was the first teacher of French. He actually moved, like me. I think it must be in the blood. He was a teacher of chemistry, and then he moved to set up the French department. So he called up someone he knew in the staff college. He said, "I'll check with the professors from IIM Calcutta over there and tell you." And he called at night and said, "Your son's name is there in the interview list." So gone and done my IIM Calcutta interview. Luckily, in those days, IIM Ahmedabad sent rejects. Luckily, they sent rejects. So a lot of people started getting rejects. It was a letter no one wanted to get. And I didn't get a reject. So I'm saying, you know what, I've not got a reject yet. I said, I don't know, but I've not got an interview letter, but I've not got a reject also. My father said, maybe postman didn't deliver. And I said to my father, as much courage as I could, I said, postman surely has better things to do than not deliver my letter. He said, but this time you must find out. So I found out who's got IIM interview, IIM Ahmedabad call letters, which hotel it is in, go there, from reception call up and say, sir, can I speak to somebody? And to my eternal Professor N.R. Sheth, who later became director here, Professor Harsha picks up the phone. And I say, sir, I'm so and so and so and so. I'm sorry for calling up. I don't know if lightning will strike twice. But sir, this is what happened at IIM Calcutta. I've not got an interview call from IIM Ahmedabad. I'm just hoping that it can happen. He said, I can't tell you now because it's in a sealed envelope. And we are all meeting tonight because interviews start tomorrow. That is when the envelopes will be opened. So give me your number. So I've given him my number. Life is good. I've given my number. He said, what do you do? It's I'm in my final year in chemical engineering. My exams are on at the moment, but obviously this means a lot. I've got an exam tomorrow, but I'll go back and study again. I get a call at night saying, this is Professor Harsha from IIM Ahmedabad. Said, your name is in the interview list. But didn't you tell me you had an exam tomorrow? I said, yes sir, I did. He said, because your interview is scheduled tomorrow, so I've rescheduled it to day after. This is what this place is about. This is why I still bow when I enter this place. Then in 1984, all of a sudden there's a telegram. I'm in D1115. There's a telegram that comes to D1115 saying you're asked to report to Doordarshan Mumbai to do commentary on the first test match between England and India. I said, me? Because while I was here, I'd done 3 one-day internationals while I was here. And I could do that only because I was in Hyderabad, so my Hyderabad producer called me for one, then someone heard some commentary clip, called me to a game in Baroda, then called me to a game in Jamshedpur. That's a different story in itself. I'll bore you to death if I do that. But I had to go to Jamshedpur and didn't know where to stay. Where do you stay in Jamshedpur? I don't know where to stay in Jamshedpur. You get 100 rupees a day daily allowance. I didn't even know what to do. Can you imagine audacity, sometimes audacity of youth? I wrote a letter to Professor T.V. Rao, who used to teach here, but who had after the first year gone to XLRI. I wrote to Professor T.V. Rao and I said, sir, I have nowhere to stay. He said, come and stay with me. Somewhere he knew my mother because my mother taught psychology. So I went to Jamshedpur, stayed with him. So that was. So I get this letter in 1984. I go to Professor Bhogle, who was the PGB chairman at the time. I said, sir, I've got this letter. What do I do? I said, I don't know if I'll ever do a test match again. So I was just thinking, what do I do here? And he said, go. I said, no, this can't be right. I said, no, you go. So I did the first test match in 1984. India versus England, and that was in December. We went straight back home. Christmas, New Year, came back here. 5, 6 subjects. This is PGB2 with six courses, I think. 5, 6 courses, I don't know exactly. Each of the professors sent me a paper and said 2 to 5, classes end at 1, 2 to 5 is your paper. I will leave the paper, you come to my room, the paper will be on the desk. Please leave exactly at 5 o'clock. Nobody to check whether I'm leaving at 5:15 or 5:20 or 5:30, or whether I'm carrying stuff, whether I'm popping out to ask someone answers and coming back. No, everything was on trust. There's a paper there, do your paper. At 5 o'clock, put the paperweight back on the paper and leave. When people trust you, you repay the trust. So exactly at 5 o'clock, knowing that I've not done well enough, exactly, not that another 10 minutes is going to help me. I was in dire straits. So at 5 o'clock I went. And that is how I did my first test match. So that is why when I enter this place, I still bow and I enter because this place did this. That is why you come to IIM Ahmedabad, man. Okay?